It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Time now to chat to the parents. In particular, if like me, you're a parent of a toddler who spent the last 24 hours with a screaming, crying, snotty-nosed little thing clung to you. You know how challenging it can be to keep up with their boundless energy, but their carefree approach to life is actually quite inspiring. I love the fact that there is always a smile despite feeling so awful. But every now and then, of course, it seems like their energy has taken a bit of a dive and they're not devouring food like they used to. Now, a lack of energy and appetite are often the first signs that a fever might have kicked in. But how can you say for sure?
Well, that's why we are here, to help you, to bring in the professionals to assist you this morning. Joining us via video call is a pediatrician, Yolandi Visser, to tell us more about pain and fever in toddlers and what to look out for and how to treat it. More importantly, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're really happy to have you. Thanks for helping the parents in advance, because this little area when it comes to toddlers, you know, they're full of energy. A lot of the time, you get this sort of cultural thing where the toddlers are just running around. Don't worry, it's just they'll be okay. But we have to actually really notice these signs to make sure that our interventions are quite early. So, doctor, first and foremost, what are the general signs that a toddler has a fever?
Yeah, that can sometimes be quite difficult. Obviously, as parents, you know your child well. So the little ones, sometimes they're just not themselves. They're irritable, they're miserable, they just don't want to eat. Sometimes they feel warm. You can actually see their face flashing. Sometimes they might have shivering. The appetite will go backwards. And if it's in the night, they might wake up and they'll either cry or they'll be upset. So if you know your child, you'll know there's something wrong. And then you go and grab your thermometer, and really doesn't matter which one, and then you take the little one's temperature.
Should parents give their toddlers paracetamol first or go straight to a doctor and get a prescription?
That is also dependable on the age at the end of the day. If we're already at a toddler's age, I feel strongly that you should treat the fever at home. That's the reason for them feeling unwell, and then sometimes they will stop eating and drinking, and then you might end up in hospital and you could have prevented it, and you can actually just bring the temperature down and prevent it from reaching very high levels, or even, I'm sure you guys have heard about fever convulsions, and that's one of the reasons we're also giving paracetamol, and you can safely give that at home before you see a doctor.
You know, parents are not perfect. You know, what happens is when your child is in distress... Oh, come on. Okay, well, not all of us. But, you know, when your child's in distress, you want to grab something very quickly and you want to just throw it down their mouths to make them better. But, of course, that could be quite dangerous as well. So the big question here, doctor, is what is the recommended paracetamol dosage for toddlers?
Yeah, that's always a good question. Usually at the back of the box or on the bottle, there's a general dose guidance. We work out dose per kilogram in children. So it's good to know your child's weight more or less. And you work out 15 milligrams per kilogram per dose. You can really give them safely every 4 hours if needed. Sometimes these viruses can give you 4-hourly fevers, and you need to be really strict and regular with it. And to overdose is really not easy. So on average, 15 milligrams per kg per dose, and that would give you 4 to 6 doses in 24 hours. Max dose of 75 per kg per 24 hours. So it is quite a lot, and it is very safe to use.
That being said, are there any actual side effects of taking paracetamol, especially for toddlers?
Yeah, side effects, the profile, it's really minor. Unfortunately, the child already feels unwell, so knowing if the tummy is now sore secondary to the paracetamol would be very difficult. But just your general gastrointestinal side effects, tummy pains, aches, maybe a skin rash is sometimes quite common, and then your overdose signs of being jaundice and change in urine and stool color. But generally very easy to tolerate, and side effects profile is really minimal.
Doctor, you mentioned this a little earlier, but sometimes a fever can get so severe that the child can actually convulse, and there could be a seizure. If that is indeed the case, to put our parents' minds at ease, what is the best practice if your child is having a fever-related seizure?
Yeah, that is quite distressing. Luckily, we know it doesn't happen that often. Unfortunately, it can happen at any temperature. And usually the child will either shiver or start shaking, or they will just zone out. So safe to put the child on the side in the recovery position. You can go and Google or see online what the recovery position is. Do not put anything in the child's mouth. Let them lie on their side. Don't put your finger. Don't try to administer medication. Try and cool them down. Usually it lasts less than 5 minutes and the child is perfectly fine afterwards. If it's a first-time seizure, rather go and seek medical attention.
Sure.
And if it happened before, which it might have had, you just manage the temperature. So most importantly, recovery position, don't put anything in the mouth and get the fever down. So a suppository in this case scenario would definitely be a better option, and maybe to just cool the child down.
Keep calm and carry on. Doctor, thank you so much. I know this can stress a lot of parents out. I've got a toddler at home who's been sick this week, so I can understand how much it can throw you out. But there are simple answers, ways that you can treat a fever at home. Thank you so much for giving us a couple of gems there. Doc, go and have yourself a fantastic day. It's been wonderful to connect with you. Thank you.
Guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor. And I mean, this is fantastic. These are great tips for parents. But if you are concerned about your child's health and if you have any questions, do remember to contact your doctor directly. They've always got the best advice for you.
Introducing new PANADO Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anytime, anywhere.